During a bear market, Cardano is far from green in terms of price appreciation. But if we look away from the charts and we go to other statistics like energy usage, Cardano really is the greenest blockchain of the bunch, and all the while being in a bear market, still maintaining that status. If you didn't already know, in the past day or so, Tesla has sold pretty much all of their Bitcoin, almost $1 billion worth, and this was shown in the earnings reports, basically to make them profitable. And Elon Musk made a statement that crypto is not contributing to an environmentally sustainable future yet. So in today's video, we're going to cover the process of Cardano staking and compare it against hardware pollution caused by Bitcoin and Ethereum mining. Bitcoin was founded in 2008, and in general, the biggest criticism for Bitcoin and other proof-of-work blockchains is how much of the mining activity is not so great for our environment. And although many other financial operating systems that we use today may use even more energy than Bitcoin, it is in different sectors of energy and for different reasons. And in general, those concerns about energy are well placed in other proof-of-work blockchains like Bitcoin. With Bitcoin itself using up to 100 terawatt hours or TWh of electricity a year, that's about 1 trillion watts every hour, equating to roughly 0.55 of the electricity produced in the world each year. Recently, the environmental fact and the impact of proof-of-work mining has come to the forefront of the news, and especially when people are talking about cryptocurrency, a lot of it is the environmental impact. At the time of writing this article, 70% of Bitcoin mining was concentrated in China. That has since changed, and pretty much all of those big operations in China were shut down and moved elsewhere, and things have now come together again. But the fact still remains that an absurd amount of energy is being used by proof-of-work blockchains like Bitcoin. And most of these blockchains don't use green energy or renewable energy. They use a lot of things that rely on fossil fuels and burning coal. It actually has gotten much better since the writing of this article, but still the amount of energy being used to solve complex math equations that are kind of useless in a sense to secure a financial operating system could be avoided if it is switched to proof of stake or using a proof of stake model. This article predicted that Chinese authorities have prompted an exodus of crypto miners, and they will probably move to another country, which they did, and the issues did not go away, and they still are plaguing us today in terms of energy consumption used by proof-of-work operating system. Before I go any further though, I want to mention that just because proof-of-work uses more energy doesn't mean that there's no place for it at all. An example would be Ergo and other, privacy feature like blockchains, which I do think benefit a lot from proof-of-work and can still utilize proof-of-work, but in a better, more efficient model. An interesting story is British police swooping in on a building expecting to find a cannabis farm, but actually just finding 100 computer boards mining Bitcoin with an illegal connection to the electricity grid. It was later reported that these three nerds had stolen worth 16 pounds a month to make 8,000 pounds in crypto. So not so great in returns. And obviously it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. You can mine Bitcoin and potentially make a profit if your power is less than your end goal income. At the moment, the top two blockchains, Ethereum and Bitcoin, are both proof-of-work blockchains, and being proof-of-work really is their Achilles heel. Powerful, state-of-the-art mining rigs produce better yields, but the faster the rigs are, the more electricity they are going to require. This prompts the question, how sustainable is this long-term? And a recent post on Ethereum's foundation claimed that Ethereum's power-hungry days are numbered, and it is going to transition over to proof-of-stake, which Cardano is now running on successfully, and very decentralized, might I add, for quite some time, by early 2022. And it is early 2022 right now. Matter of fact, it's the middle of 2022, and we're leaning more towards 2023, and there's still no really news of this, no really dates of this, and it is still a long ways away for Ethereum. Now, what makes proof of stake used by Cardano a more environmentally friendly blockchain? Essentially, proof of work is resource intensive because miners need to solve more complex mathematical problems to create blocks. Each block contains rewards in Bitcoin that are rewarded to the people mining them. Basically, everyone trying to mine Bitcoin is in an energy-intensive global race to solve meaningless, randomly generated puzzles. This massive amount of computation power could be used for a lot of other things, like mapping the stars or searching for alien life, but in a lot of cases for mining Bitcoin, it's a wasted effort, except for the people who are actually solving the problems and mining the block. And all of the other thousands or hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people who are trying to mine a block at that time are wasting computation power. And this really does lead to some real world consequences as well. This leads to a lot of electronic waste, and miners are going to constantly try to keep up to get the best system to make the most bang for their buck or bang for their hardware. And the old equipment, often suitable only really for mining, quickly becomes obsolete, discarded, and e-waste is shockingly high for Bitcoin because people are constantly upgrading their rigs to try to make a bigger profit. So why are people all around the world apparently, I don't know, calling Cardano the green blockchain? Well, when it comes to sustainability, environmentally friendly cryptocurrencies, Cardano has two clear advantages: far less energy consumption, especially per transaction, and staking. In proof of stake, network participants run nodes, and the chain selects a node to add the next block based on the node's stake and other parameters. However, even if they're not selected, nodes can participate in reeling information and helping the network, well, not just randomly solving complex math operations for no reason, trying to race to a block. So the main difference between these two algorithms, and therefore in their energy requirements, is that in proof of stake, block producers do not need to spend excessive amounts of time and computer power to solve random puzzles. It's estimated that Cardano's energy uses just 0.01% of Bitcoin's, basically a 1,000th of a percent, sorry, a 1,000th of the amount of energy. Proof of work cryptos need computer power to produce blocks in a pointless energy-intensive arms race. A Cardano node, in contrast, can be run on a very low-powered processor, such as a Raspberry Pi. More than 40 million of these have already been produced, many for schools in developing countries, because they cost $40 to $70 compared to a Bitcoin mining rig that's going to run you thousands and thousands of dollars in just not only the hardware cost, but also to run on electricity. And this simplicity also reduces plastic and e-waste a metric ton. In the end, when it comes down to addressing environmental problems, there's not going to be any easy answers. And Bitcoin is still a great blockchain. Aside from it being not so environmentally friendly, it does do a lot of great things, and it is decentralized. It also is the pioneer of this whole space, and Cardano likely would not be without it. But Cardano is a decentralized platform that can replace the inefficiencies of the older and legacy systems. With its sustainability credentials, Cardano and other proof-of-stake protocols that are on the rise are seen as part of the solution, rather than just contributing to the problem of energy efficiencies caused by other proof-of-work blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum. I want to make it clear, though, that just because Cardano is great and proof of work is not so great, there are still a lot of benefits coming from Ethereum, Bitcoin, and other blockchains that aren't proof of stake or super energy efficient. Eventually, we are going to reach a point where there's a lot of blockchains that do a lot of specific things, but I do think Cardano will be one of those blockchains that keeps up with the times and becomes a real-world use application for a lot of people. However, there will also be other proof of work, proof of stake blockchains that do things better and have specific use cases that also benefit real-world people. Right now, Cardano has 3,100 stake pool operators up and running, and over 1.2 million people delegating to secure the blockchain and validate blocks, or pick the people who validate blocks. So over 72% of Cardano is staked, and if you want to earn passive ADA on your ADA, you can do so with the Jack stake pool. That's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Enjoy the bear market, because likely we are going to have a lot more days of it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.